Hey YouTube, this is a short video about what I keep in my camera bag. Now I'm going to go in depth, a little more in depth on each individual piece, but first, here's a quick stop motion animation. Now you'll notice that the GoPro Hero 5 in it is a printout. That's because I'm using my GoPro Hero 5 to shoot it, so it can't also be in the shot. That's why. Also, I realized after I set everything up that I am missing a battery because I was using the battery. So, check it out. First, I'm going to focus on my GoPro stuff. This is the Plano, I'm not sure. But this, basically I bought this at Outdoor World. It is a tackle box, but it worked really well for my GoPro stuff, and I bought it because I used to throw all the accessories in my bag, and GoPro accessories are pretty small, so I would kind of have to search around, or I guess fish around for them. This is something I modified with pull and pluck foam, which somebody gave me a while ago. They had bought some Pelican cases and it comes with this stuff, and I guess they didn't think they were going to use it all, so the guy said, "Do you want some of this pull and plug foam?" So of course I said yes, and I found a use for it. Now I used to have my GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black in here, but it doesn't fit in here anymore. I'll get to that later. Here are just the normal thumb screws or bolts that come with it. Always carry around at least one spare SD card. I leave it in the case because every once in a while I'll take the GoPro with just the case and not the bag. Extensions that come with it, I carry a bunch of them because they rotate the camera 90 degrees, so I often have to use two of them so that the camera is not rotated. I always have two batteries for every camera because they always run out. The GoPro Hero 5 battery lasts a very long amount of time, especially compared to the 4, but you know, they still run out. I've gone through both batteries before. This goes into the hot shoe of the SLR and allows me to mount my GoPro with the accessories I'll show you in a moment. Just by itself, all it does is gives you a standard tripod screw. But with this accessory, it has a place where you can screw that on to a tripod mount, which is very nice. Or I can use it on the previously mentioned accessory, and that is how I can mount the GoPro on top of the SLR. The next accessory is the opposite of the previous one, where it goes onto a GoPro mount and turns it into a tripod mount for the clips. Now I used to have the one that is they call it a J hook, but I had two of them from GoPro and they both broke. So that's a look at the GoPro case, which I couldn't believe it fits so perfectly. It looks like this case was made for this bag. It just happens to be that the dimensions are absolutely perfect. I lucked out. The next thing here is something I bought on Amazon for I think like $2 or $3. It's meant so that if you drop your GoPro in the water, it floats. I don't use it for that. I use it for when I'm going handheld with my GoPro, which is probably going to be less often because of what I recently purchased, which I'll show you in a moment. But because this is such a big item, it doesn't fit in the GoPro case. That's why it's just in the bag. Over here is what's called, it's from a company called Tether tools. I haven't really used it in a while, but it's for when you have your camera tethered with USB, which if you're shooting a lot of photos in a studio type setting, which I was for a while I was shooting product photos. This is great because I tripped over my USB cable and I kind of messed up the USB port on my camera, unfortunately. And then I bought this, not the correct order. Again, here we see a second battery. I always have a second battery because, well, if they're replaceable. I've been in many situations, every once in a while I'll forget to recharge my batteries, or well, just like I said, batteries run out, so I always buy two. Well, one extra, it always comes with the battery, you would hope, right? This is another GoPro accessory. It's just, it comes with the GoPro. It's to display it in its case or in the box. But like many other people, I kept it after I threw out the packaging because it's very useful. If I want to mount this on a level surface, like a floor, this works. So I'm not sure if GoPro intended to have people keep it or if it was just a part of the packaging, but it's very, very useful. This is the lens pen, which I constantly forget I have. It has two ends. One you can rub around the lens to remove certain things, and then there's a little brush. And now back to GoPro. This is my Hero 3 Plus Black, but I have modified it with a kit from a company called Backbone, which allowed me to change out the faceplate. This allowed me to mount other lenses on it. I don't have an adapter still for the Canon. I might get that at some point, but I have right now a lens on there that is like the one that came with the camera, but I've removed the infrared filter, so it basically acts as a night vision camera, and the back of it is the GoPro battery backpack, which I have not used it that much, but I was extremely impressed with it. The problem with the 3 Plus and the 4 is that the battery life is pretty terrible, especially if you try to use the wireless. I always turn off the wireless whenever I'm not using it. With the 5, I just leave it on. It really doesn't make a difference. But this battery backpack extended the life of the battery of the 3 Plus way longer than I thought it would. And in the future, if I'm using the 3 Plus, I'm just going to leave the wireless on like I do with the 5 because it makes that much of a difference. And now for the latest addition to my bag. This is the Removu S1. I will be doing a full review of this when I get the time. So far, it works really well, and I've been happy with it, with some exceptions. But again, I'll get to that to the full review. Here's something I forgot to show you in the initial animation because I don't use it very often. It's another UV filter and a polarizer, circular polarizer filter, which I don't know, maybe I should use that more often. The problem with the polarizer is sometimes it reduces glare in what I'm shooting, and sometimes it does nothing. Most of the times it does nothing, but when it works really well, which is pretty funny because it's kind of polarizing that way. And here's some other accessories that aren't necessarily related to photography or video, but I keep in my bag because they're useful. This is another GoPro accessory which doesn't fit in that little case. It is the head mount, but I've modified it to put, when you buy a GoPro, you get some adhesive backed mounting plates. I put that onto this head mount, so if I want to, I can actually mount 2 GoPros on my head. It doesn't really work as a 360 camera. I don't know if it would, but it requires stitching. I've never bothered trying to do that. This is just so if I'm shooting forwards and there's something that happens behind me, I don't miss it. Though I haven't used it very often. The bag itself, going back to the original shot of the first animation, is the Lowepro Pro Runner 200 AW, which I've had for quite a few years, and it works really great. It even has, I don't have it, I didn't take a picture of it, but if you want to, I have a link in the description. In Amazon, you can see more images because I'm not trying to sell the bag, I'm just trying to show you what it is. It also comes with a rain cover, which has been very useful in the past as well. So that's my video. That is what I carry around with me. There's a few other things that I also mentioned because it doesn't fit in my camera bag. I'm using one right now, which is the external power source. I don't use a battery when I have it set up at home. But as of the 25th of January of 2018, I need to get to 1,000 subscribers before the 20th of February. Otherwise, I will lose monetization. And monetization is how I buy stuff like the GoPro Hero 5, some of the accessories I'm using to shoot with right now, lights, and audio blocks, which is the subscription music service I use for the audio you hear in this video and other videos. So I don't want to lose it. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do. Please share this video. Hopefully other people will subscribe. I believe, a little over 750, so it's not like I am at 10 and have to get to 1,000. So thanks for watching. Please share, and as I said, subscribe. And here are a few other videos if you're new to this channel I'm going to put up here. So, oh, that was a pretty good one, yeah. Whoa, that one's pretty old, but I still like it. Oh yeah, Halloween Horror Nights. Love Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, and there's also that one.